Ladies, if you wear wigs, weaves, braids, or extensions,
and if you're tender-headed like me,
or tangled just like me,
or have thick hair like mine,
or hate getting your hair combed,
keep watching. That was me. I was off.
That's okay.
One
more time.
Okay, this is the last time. Okay, y'all ready? Ladies, if you wear wigs, weaves, braids, or extensions,
and if you're tender-headed like me,
or tangled just like me,
or have thick hair like mine,
or hate getting your hair combed,
keep watching.
Hi guys, thanks for checking out another TM Hair Products video. In yesterday's video, I showed you guys how I remove her braids. If you haven't watched that video, pause this one, watch that video. I'll be here when you come back. Now, if you've already watched that video, this is the next step in the detangling process. So I showed you guys how I removed her braids. Now I'm going to show you how I detangle her hair. Her hair is 4C, very fragile. I like to saturate the hair with water, not dripping wet. That's why I use that spray bottle, because it's a very fine mist. I'm just showing you guys some of the tangles in her hair, some of the knots. She had knots in the middle of her hair, knots at the ends of her hair, because she had crochet braids. And now I'm going to show you how to work those knots out without pain, without her crying, without her being irritated, with, just all of that stuff that I see on YouTube with kids. Okay, what I did was I saturated the hair with water before, and then I added the detangler, and I worked the detangler in with my hands. My battery died, so I missed that clip. So now what you see me doing is I've worked the detangler in with my hands. Now, if you've used this detangler before, you know once you work the detangler with your hands, you can feel the detangler activating. You can feel it breaking down knots and tangles. It is very important, if you have tightly coiled or 4C hair or very thick hair, to take small sections of hair. Even if you have finer hair, but you suffer from single strand knots, it's very important to take smaller sections of hair, because you won't be able to feel or remove all of the single strand knots. Now, I'm working the water into her hair because as you see, her hair is very dry. She has very dry hair. This is where I have the most problem, and on the ends. So that's where I focus the product now. Just like shed hairs just easily come out of the hair. Now, I want to work this in because she has a lot of single strand knots, and I'm going to work this in all the way through. You want the product to penetrate from one side to the next, because if it does not penetrate to the other side, then guess what? It's hair in there that's not getting a detangler on there, so therefore you won't be able to detangle your hair properly. So that's why I work it in. So for those of you who tell me, oh, you use too much product or this or that, you can't feel what I feel, and you can't see very up close what I see. So trust me, I'm not using too much product. I'm just showing you guys, if you don't coat all of the strands, like open the hair up and get the product all throughout the hair, guess what? You're going to be pulling out hair that doesn't have the detangler on there. So trust me, when I put the amount of detangler on her hair, I'm putting it the amount based on, one, how many knots she has, and two, how thick her hair is. Now, she suffers from a lot of fairy knots and things like that. You see all that at the end of her hair? You see all those little knots at the end of her hair? That's what the detangler is going to work out. Now I'm starting at the very ends of her hair. Some of those little knots are shed hairs that need to come out right into the comb. And if you run into a knot, snag, tangle, whatever, that's what the detangler is for. We expect to run into knots and tangles.
All those shit hairs that tangle up on your hair come right out into the comb. So now what I like to do is comb from every angle to make sure I don't have any single strand knots or anything like that.
Okay, guys, I've been trying to break down the videos and give them to you in smaller videos because I get a lot of the same questions over and over again. So I hope you guys like the way I'm breaking the videos down. Look at her body language, you guys, on this video. She is actually asleep. This is when I discovered she was asleep. A lot of things, you guys, I just kind of took. I love those eyes. I'm sorry. You can't pay for that. But I often say I love. A lot of things I took for granted. I just assumed you guys knew, like starting from the ends when you detangle. That's why I'm breaking it down very slowly. Start from the ends, then continue to detangle and work your way up. I thought, you guys, that was just everybody knew that. So I would say it, but I wouldn't really focus in on it. And as I watch videos, I would see people literally starting from the middle of their hair, just raking down their hair. And I was just, my jaw dropped. It just makes me cringe. So I decided, okay, focus on little tips to give people so when you put it together, you'll see the big picture. So I hope you guys like the way I'm doing these videos. Like I said before, I focused on how I took her braids out. I'm showing you guys how I detangle her hair. Focusing on small things like making sure you guys know, start from the ends. So when you put all the techniques together, you'll get the results I get. I tell people all the time, if you do what I do, you'll get the results I get. You'll retain more length, your hair will grow, you have to trim your ends less. These are all of the things I'm showing you guys when I use the detangler, how the detangler works, how it breaks down the hair, how this detangler is not your typical, ordinary, everyday detangler. Those of you who use this detangler, you guys know what I'm talking about. This detangler actually, and I've never said this in the video, it kind of foams. It feels like a foam. Other detanglers don't do that. It feels almost shampoo-ish, if I could describe it that way. That's what it feels like because it's actually breaking down knots and tangles. And you can see her body language right here. I'm breaking up a knot right now. Well, during this video, of course. But she haven't flinched, she haven't budged, she haven't out, she had none of that because this detangler is not your typical detangler. So when I'm giving you the tips and techniques and you use the detangler, you put everything together, you get great results. I have customers who email me and they keep me in the loop and they let me know how their kids' hair is doing and how their hair is doing, and they are getting fantastic results. They're getting the length they want. It's easier to detangle their children's hair. I even get videos of kids nodding off in the chair when I first started putting my kids' videos up when they were nodding off and I was detangling their hair. I started getting video emails of children actually nodding off while their moms are detangling their hair. And I just thought that was so cute and so heartwarming and so touching. And we really get a kick out of it. So don't stop sending them to us. We don't ever get tired of it. So don't think, oh, I know she tired of these videos. No, because I like the feeling that you guys get when you get the same results I get. So that's why I am really breaking down the videos. I want you guys to see how the detangler works. I want you guys to know how to use the detangler because a lot of times, again, like I said, I assume that people know how to detangle their hair and I just give them tips and techniques, but a lot of people don't. That's why their hair is all broken. That's why their hair is all uneven and choppy because they're ripping hair out and then they're wondering why their hair isn't growing. I get so many emails asking me, why do you think my hair won't grow? Why do you think my hair won't grow? A lot of the reasons is because of the way you detangle it. Most people's hair grow. You just don't see the length retention because of the way you're detangling it. You're pulling out hair as fast as it's growing. But that's a whole nother video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.